aren't the problem. Women's lack of accountability is, and that's why men are checking out of dating and nobody wants to say it. Women love to complain about men, how men don't want to commit, don't want to date, don't want to put in effort, don't want to do this and that, but rarely do women stop to ask what role they play in the problem. And trust me, girl, I used to be the same way until I realized what was really going on. The truth is, men are tired of being told they're never enough. They're tired of being called toxic for being masculine, tired of being shamed for wanting to lead, and tired of being treated like they're disposable. Why would a man want to date when he's constantly told he's the problem? When every mistake is weaponized against him and every effort is met with criticism or indifference. Add in the fact that so many women are competing with men instead of complimenting them, and it's no wonder men are choosing peace over partnership. Men want to feel respected, needed, and appreciated. When they don't get that, they check out, and honestly, I can't blame them. If you want a man who actually wants to show up for you, maybe start by showing him some respect. Otherwise, don't be surprised when he chooses himself over a relationship.
This is exactly what a lot of men try to say. You know, if you would, as a woman, get out of yourself for maybe like a couple of seconds and see that the man's not the only problem, then maybe we can start moving forward. And there's another guy in the comments that said, also with a 60% plus divorce rate initiated by women 90% of the time, the US legal system destroys men and takes their kids. Getting married or having kids for men is literally irresponsible. Women are only dealing with the leftovers. 85% of single men aren't dating or looking. That's unfortunate for some of the good ladies out here, because a lot of these bum women are out here running their mouths when they should be quiet.
Straight men who have a lot of close female friends are actually a big green flag, because it means that women feel safe enough around them to be their friend and know that they're not gonna hit on them. Can't take credit for this. One of my friends said that to me tonight, and I was like, I never thought of it that way. But it is so true, because let's get real, men are not learning emotional intelligence from each other unless they have gay guy friends or female friends. Like, it's not happening.
And I guess that's the thing, right? Y'all never think. So that's why you're on here talking about this nonsense. And the brothers in the comments roasting you.
Oh, believe me, we know. Men don't chase anything anymore. Men don't even chase money anymore. Only thing men chasing in 2025 is liquor because they're bitches.
Ah, man. Lame. These modern women are lame. Avoid her at all costs.
I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 fucking times. Okay, y'all need to stop fucking with older women if you're not ready for what's coming with it. Now, recently I had a man who came into my messages and he was fine as hell. I didn't even mind it, okay? And we're chatting, he's flirting, I'm flirting back. It is what it is. I have no shame, okay? Until he started acting his age. And now I'm not faulting younger men. I've dated younger men. I absolutely love being in my cougar era. But this right here is why y'all need to be prepared for older women, okay? If you are chasing an older woman and you say some dumb shit like, come meet me for coffee on my lunch break because I'm not going to come to you kind of thing, think again, kiddo. If I tell you I don't do casual sex and you hit me with that, I'm not looking for a girlfriend, I just want somebody that I can go to the gym with and possibly kiss in the car in the parking lot, love that for you. Don't come after the women who have their shit together thinking you're going to get that kind of energy, because 97.5% of the time, that's not going to fucking happen, okay? And not to mention the fact that it's completely disrespectful and absolutely disgusting. Why in the ever-loving fuck would I entertain a younger man for, if you can't offer me anything but no, sir, I want no part of it? You want to know why? Because I got a drawer full of them that absolutely don't talk back and don't bother me on the weekends.
Well, I think you might be only looking at it from one side of the floor. See, it's the fact that they don't talk back to you, which is why you're out there. You want an emotional connection. Sometimes you get a little bit of, oh, I want this quick. But now you want a man to talk back to you. Talk to me like this. Say this to me. Oh, I want to feel the warmth of your body and this, and this. Stop it. Oh, 97% of the time. If he was confident, if he was a real woman, you'd have said 99%. Actually, that 97% is 60% of the time. this is what the case is. We have our stuff together. We have this. We're not playing around. If I wanted this, I could do that, and yada, yada. I get it. Human psychology is what you really need to be talking about. Y'all be saying all of this on TikTok, and then that very night, getting your cheeks clapped by a man that just said, hey, I'm just looking for a little bit of fun.
He's not gay, he just didn't like you. Like, I've seen so many videos of women being like, oh, he must be gay. Like, he spent so much time with his friends and he never spent time with me, or he disrespected me so badly, so he must be gay. He's not gay, he just didn't like you. And it feels so wrong to see you guys just paint homosexuality onto men who simply did not respect you at all. But even if he is gay, what is you saying that really going to accomplish? Like, if he were in the closet, what would you say? Oh, I knew he was gay when he treated me like shit, or I knew it. What would that accomplish? He's not going to ever come out. He's just going to continue his pattern of treating women badly and staying in the closet because you guys are just using homosexuality as some sort of weird insult. Like, you guys are equating like disrespect as a byproduct of homosexuality. It just feels like homophobia is being gradually eased into society. And another example I have of this is all the comments that are like, why is he kinda, like, I see those comments so much when I see a woman with her husband and he's like openly affectionate, emotionally expressive, communicative, like open with his emotions, and the comments will be like, why is he kinda, because that's an example of a man who's healthfully in touch with his emotions. Like, you guys cannot demonize men expressing their emotions and then also demonize like men being hyper masculine and then also disrespecting you and upholding patriarchy. Like, you cannot do both of those things at one time. There's a Supreme Court case happening right now where they're trying to argue that conversion therapy is a First Amendment right. It just feels like we're slipping down this horrible pathway of homophobia. And I feel like it has to do with the rise in conservatism. And there are these subtle things. They start off subtle, but it just doesn't feel right to me.
I mean, I think sometimes it's not about respect. It's about me not liking you. Can we normalize me not liking you? That's the message. There's nothing deep about it. It's just that your self-esteem gets hurt. And when your self-esteem gets hurt, you say that modern women can take rejection gracefully, and they should, men should take a course in that. You guys should start taking rejection gracefully. But then if a man doesn't like you, or if he's not interested in you, then he's got to be the problem. He's got to be the one that's gay. You go to insults, you go to shame in the man. Why can't you just move on and say, oh, okay, well, I appreciate it. Have a good day.
I felt like I was vibing with this guy that I met tonight. And I was with two of my guy friends and they were like, ask him for his number, like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, if he's interested in me, like he'll ask for my number. But they were like, no, just like ask for his number. It's fine. And then we were walking out. My friend was like, oh, you guys should exchange numbers. So then we did. And I was like, okay, let me know if you're going out after this. And he's like, yeah, I'll text you. And I was like, well, if I go home, like, I'm not going to come back here. So I'll just wait for you to be done. And he just didn't, I don't know, he just kind of like disappeared. And I was waiting for his text. And he never texted me. But I feel like this is why I don't put myself out there. Like, if a guy wants my number, he will ask me for my number. Like, I feel like in no circumstance should I go ask a man for his number, because if he doesn't ask for mine, then he doesn't like me. And then it puts me in these like uncomfortable rejection situations that make me end up feeling bad. And so like, I'm not doing that again. That was horrid.
I think at some point in time, you guys got to start doing what works for you. You literally don't have to tell us what you got going on. We don't have to know that you ask for the guy's number. If you don't want to be embarrassed, you don't have to be embarrassed. Well, this is why I'm not doing this and doing that. Nobody has to know. Nobody needs to know. This is what I'm doing. This is how I'm processing it. I asked the guy for his number. It didn't work, or he didn't text me. Whatever it might be, you can move in silence. You don't have to let the rest of the world know your business.
I'm only going to say this once. I hate when a man is 5'7" on Hinge and actually the most attractive man I've ever seen. I'm 5'10". Let's start there. I'm 5'10". I have a really hard time liking someone who is shorter than me because it fucks with my feminine idea of myself. I want to feel dainty and tiny next to my man. So when you have the most attractive face I've ever seen, but I have to look down, I'm sorry. It's really not you. It's a me thing.
Y'all get on here being cute, saying all this stuff, but we gonna check back in a few years and see what we got going. Y'all waste y'all time. Y'all be making these cute little TikToks, and then y'all fool around and be cute and alone by yourself.
Okay, so I get a lot of Hinge likes, but that's mainly because my profile is very curated and I look the way I do. So on Hinge, I don't even like swipe through people anymore. I just straight up go to the tab that says like people that like me, and I just go through that. But the category of guys that I will always say no to are buff, conventionally attractive, 6 feet, 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", Korean men from K-Town with like a high earning job. I will always say no to them. I have enough self-respect and I run K-Town long enough to know that that's fucking trouble. And like my friends are like, why do you always skip on the, oh my god, he's so cute, why are you saying no to him? Da, 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 da. I'm like, oh girl, go run some laps and then come back to me. Legitimately, I think the only thing worse than a Hongdae guy is a K-Town boy. I genuinely think so.
And we know your friends still have a little bit to learn before they realize that a lot of these guys out here that they're trying to go for, they have options. And she's going to be one of the options, one of the few options, top 2 or 3 that I'm going to be taking home for the night. They're going to ride that carousel a little bit more, and then it's going to be on to find a good man to settle down with.
Guys, you can make excuses all you want. All you want. You can come up with every scenario. You can message me. You can ask me all these questions like, but this, but this, but this. No, if you are talking to a woman and the vibe is good and all of a sudden it changes, whether or not she's talking to somebody else and they have more of her attention, whether she decided she does not like you, whether she has said to herself, holy shit, my flirting game is on point and now this guy likes me, I have to reel it back in. Whatever it is, you are not the one. You have to walk away. I know that it sucks. You cannot continue to put energy into somebody that does not want to put energy into you unless it's for validation and some funny flirty texts if you want a relationship with this person, because they don't.
And that's why men are staying single, because they're just not really going to spend a whole bunch of money, right? A guy in the comments said after our 5th date she disappeared for 5 days. I gave her 2 chances, then I was done. 5 dates. He's probably paying for all of those. At least 3 out of the 5. No, probably 4 out of 5, 80%. And the only thing that she's paying for is if they go to the movies and they get popcorn. So I'll pay for the drinks. Anything that's the cheapest thing. Modern women put as little effort as possible. And then they wonder why men stop dating. How come I can't find a man? Where are all the good men at? How come a man doesn't want to get married? Because you're putting in the minimal amount of effort, then turning around and telling the man he's doing the bare minimum when you in fact haven't done anything at all, like literally nothing.
And to whoever said that you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, check this out. That's what I thought.
Is that you? Or are you referring to yourself as that? What are we doing here? Even if that was the case, which I don't know you, so I would know. Even if that was the case, why would that be something that you brag about? You guys, I'm telling you, man, you guys got to start protecting yourselves and your relationship. You really do. For one, you're going to have these modern women out here thinking that they could talk reckless like this and then finding out, oh, it's not the way that I thought it was. Number 2, you're going to take on this persona that's going to bleed into your relationship. And then you're going to be wondering like, well, what's different? What's happening? Unless you're very careful about what you're saying and how you're portraying yourself to your man, this could go downhill fast.
Some women say that men should pay for the date because they spent money on hair, makeup, nails, etc. Can you explain what's going on here? Absolutely, this is a classic case of people being dumb. It's backtracking your logic. It's Monday morning quarterbacking. feeling a certain way and backtracking and creating little logical pathways to try and justify what you're feeling with logic. While there's been a rise in a lot of women saying this, I know most women do not feel this way. Because as soon as you push on that logic, it totally falls apart. It's like if your nails aren't done, then does that mean you only want him to pay for 2/3 of your dinner now? If you didn't wear makeup, do you not want a guy to pay anymore? Are you wearing that makeup for him? Would you be wearing the same amount of makeup if you went out with your girlfriends? Oh, wait a minute, this transactional mindset doesn't make any sense, and it's not how almost any girls feel. Reality is, a lot of women want men to pay for a date for a variety of reasons. Largely because it's hot. They want to have this feminist mindset of like, we don't need gender roles, nobody has to pay, but they still do want a guy to pay. I'm one of those women, like it's not a deal breaker for me if a man doesn't pay. I am way more attracted to a guy who wants to pay for a date than a guy who doesn't. Why? Because it's hot when a guy pays. I don't think he should pay because it's his duty as a man. It's nice when somebody like takes initiative like that. When somebody wants to make you feel special. Somebody wants to treat and make things easier for you. That's what I want in a partner. That's very attractive to me. Sure, some women are looking for the richest of guys, but most women aren't, and it's very attractive when a regular guy with a regular budget puts money towards your date because it shows that he's not going on a million dates like that. It's showing that he cares about you and this is special. If dates have to be super cheap to him, how many dates is he going on? My friend has a very strict rule where she never initiates flirting with a guy. Her reasoning is like, if I flirt with a guy, there's like a 99% chance he's going to respond to it. It's like, I have no idea if he actually likes me and is interested in me or if I'm just girl falling in front of him and it's really convenient. I don't know if I totally agree with that. I think it's totally fine to be the first flirt, but I do see her point and her reasoning. I think this is part of what factors into why I find it attractive when a guy pays for a date. Like, if he can't afford it, it's one thing, but if he can and just is like, nah, you're not really important enough that I don't really want to pay for your date, then like, I don't really want to date that, you know what I mean? Do I think men should pay for a date? On a moral level, it's a man's job to pay for a date? Of course not. Any way that you approach paying for dates can be totally fine for different couples. I do have videos with tips on how to communicate that you don't want to pay for a date in a way that's still attractive and respectful. Just like you can be a man who's a feminist who still thinks it's really hot when a girl bakes. My husband doesn't think it's my job and my duty as a woman to cook dinner. He loves that I love to cook for him. It's totally okay to have the same mindset about dates. In fact, if a guy is only paying because he thinks he should and it's his duty to, then I don't even want it. I want a guy that wants to pay for a date. As a man, you are not required to pay for a date, and as a woman, you are not required to wear makeup on a date. And whether or not you wear makeup should not be about who's paying, and whether or not you pay should not be about how much makeup she's wearing. Personally, as a woman, when I go on a date with somebody, I want to put my best foot forward. I want to dress up and look nice and put a little makeup on. And personally, I want to date the guy that also wants to put his best foot forward and treat me. I want men to pay because it's hot. It makes me feel valued. It makes me get all fluttery in my tummy. If he doesn't have any money, but he gives me a lot of compliments that make me feel flutteries in my tummy, I'm also gonna like that. A lot of ways that men can make you feel things and build attraction. I don't really care how he makes me feel attracted to him, just as long as I'm attracted to him. Women are allowed to not want to go on a date with you for any reason, including that you didn't pay. And you're allowed to not want to go on a date with a woman for any reason, including that she wasn't pretty enough for you. You're allowed to find things attractive simply because they're attractive. Backtracking of logic is not specific to women, by the way. Men do this just as much as women do, but I think this is one where women do it a lot.
Well, I think the question that you asked when saying, you know, if he's got to have a super strict budget, how many dates is he going on? I think that's kind of seeing it from the one side of the floor, right? I like where you're going. I like your thought process here, right? But let's attack first, or let's talk about first, you saying, well, you know, what does his budget look like? Well, my budget is finding a wife. That's the budget. My budget is finding somebody that likes me. And so the last one didn't work out. And I get to this one, and then the same thing happens. And then this one, the same thing happens. If I keep on spending this type of money, then you're going to call me an idiot for it because I'm wasting my resources. These things aren't panning out. Well, you've got a regular budget to do this, this, and this. This means that you're not spending it. I'm trying not to spend it. But if modern women keep on acting silly, I'm not going to spend it at all. Once again, why are men checking out of dating? Why are men not wanting to date? Where are all the hot single guys? Where are all the single men at? This is why. Because I go out here looking for somebody that likes me, and I end up paying for somebody that only wanted a free meal. And even if we take the argument, well, I didn't want a free meal, but you know you didn't like me. So that's essentially what it turns into without saying it, right? And then you talk about, well, and I get your point here. Well, feminism, just because I'm a feminist or I believe in feminism doesn't mean that I won't pay on the date. I don't mind paying for the first date, but I would really like a guy if he would. That would be super hot to me. I get it. The problem is it puts the guy in the position to kind of have to be Superman in every other area in order to prove himself to you. Well, you didn't pay on the first date. That must mean you're a red flag. Not necessarily. Well, it's not a deal breaker, but it's borderline a deal breaker, right? Because that weighs heavily. You know what I mean? Well, you could basically, essentially what I'm saying is you have other things that you can do to maybe offset her opinion of you. But it's kind of like they used to do in class with some of these grading systems where certain things weigh heavier than others. Paying on the first date is like 80% of it. And then maybe you can make her laugh so much, plus looking super hot, plus, I don't know, maybe having a career or like doing really great charity work to get her to maybe give you another chance. But that's another chance at consideration. That's not another chance to, or that's not really me dating you. Like, our future is still up in the air. You know what I mean? And men spend entirely too much money for just a consideration and future being up in the air.
Fuck a good morning text. Does he invest for you? Flowers are great, but does he put money into my 401k? All of those things are great. All the romantic stuff is so great. But I'm sorry, I'm 25. I need some real investment. I need a man who's going to be buying me crypto. I need a man that's going to be putting money towards my future, towards my savings account. I think the ultimate form of showing somebody that you care about them is investing in their future. Is he paying for me to take classes somewhere? Is he paying for my master's? My dad set the standard for this. He stays investing for me and managing my investment account. Like, a guy taking me on vacation means nothing for me. First of all, he benefits from that too, so it's not even just for me. But also, that does nothing for my future. You want to show me you care? Invest for me. You want to show me you care? Put money towards my retirement fund. You want to show me you care? Add to my savings account. Invest in my future in any way that you can, because you care. That is true romance to me.
I think she made a video talking about, I don't have a problem with the male gaze. I'm appealing to the male. Like, that's who I'm trying to get the attention of, is the man. And after saying things like this, I kind of understand why she would say that. At the time, that sounded like a great take. It's like, yeah, it is what it is. But unfortunately, it sounds like, it doesn't sound great. I'll say it like that. Some people in the comments are saying you can't invest in somebody's 401k, by the way. Somebody said crypto is all I needed to hear. Your dad is your dad. Another person has a picture of Mickey Mouse looking old and tired when he looks at his phone. Somebody says, I would do that for my wife, but never a girlfriend, right? I like this comment here. It says, if she's looking for a paycheck, she's an employee, not a partner. Somebody said, this is marriage stuff. And I agree. You guys want all of these benefits as girlfriends, right? Not even as girlfriends. You guys want to meet a man and then have him pay for all of this stuff even before y'all get to know each other, right? Preferably on the first date. And by the way, you're not giving that man anything but, oh, I look good, I look great, and that needs to be paid for. The guy in the comments said something that was very true for this moment, and he said, I'd rather pay by the hour, because that's what it sounds like you're doing. You're selling it.
Can I give you a perspective shift? I'm giving it to you anyways. You put them first because that's what's important to you. For your side stuff, I'm a firm believer in you got to take care of you too. So sacrificing everything that's important to you just because they're important to you, I don't agree with. But the way that this is worded has me like, yeah, your family does come first because they're what's important to you.
You're too worried about the wording of it and instead of understanding the principle of it. Well, you got to take care of yourself. Sacrifice, you don't really understand what sacrifice is. Men are expected to sacrifice. Men should take care of themselves. but men are expected to sacrifice. When you're sacrificing, you're not getting to take care of yourself. I get to take care of myself when everything is done. Well, how come you just don't lay down in the middle of a storm? You're going to tell me to lay down in the middle of a war. You're going to tell me to, you just take a breather and come back and fight. I can only fight or take a breather if somebody else is there to support me. If nobody else is there to support me, then I can't lay down. If I lay down, we all die. You get that? So the perspective shift that needs to be provided is actually with what you're talking about. If I understand you correctly, now you might be saying something else, but yes, men should be able to take care of themselves. They should do that. But I cannot take care of myself if I don't have somebody backing me up. That's why you're here. You're supposed to be my shoulder to lean on. Hopefully my shoulder to cry on, but for a lot of modern women, they can't even fulfill that. You're supposed to be my relief. Oh, I ain't relieving nobody. I ain't doing nothing for no man. Why did they even bring you in if you're not going to do that? Exactly. That's why men are checking out. Because I'm trying to tell you, I got to sacrifice, and I would take care of myself if you give me a breather.
I do not understand dating in this day and age. I would classify myself as someone that's very old school. I do not believe in playing a game. I've never been good at playing a game. I don't even know what game we're playing. Most of the time, none of us know what game we're playing. I believe that if you like someone or you find some sort of intrigue with them, that it's totally fine for you to go up to them and ask that person and say to that person, hey, I kind of like you. Do you feel the same? Would love to hang out. I've done that multiple times. People have done that to me multiple times. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. I do not find that weird or strange. If anything, I admire people that have the guts to put themselves out there and do those things, because I've done that myself and I know how hard that is. So when I enter this new space, which is called salsa classes, and I'm surrounded by a lot more people than me working from home and seeing my family, I have realized that we have lost the art of flirting. We have lost the art of asking people out, even just like casually to hang out, to go get a drink, I don't even drink. By drink, I mean a boba tea or a coffee. But you know, some people do drink, so you can go get a drink or go get something to eat. Now, someone was telling me that there is an app where women go and they input information about men and write really mean stuff or whatnot. I don't know. I'd never heard of this app. I don't even know the name of it. However, I've noticed that the essence of dating with intention, no one even dates. I don't even know if people are hooking up, which I'm too old for that too. What I'm trying to say is I genuinely do not think that we are socializing with people that we like anymore. We like someone, we run away. Or we maybe show our feelings somewhat, not really, because you can come off as being friendly. And then in your head, you tell yourself, well, I tried. No, you didn't. You didn't go up to this person. You didn't tell them you like them. No one knows anything. It's just all speculation. It's like, did they like me? Were they just being nice? I don't know. So I'm genuinely curious about what you guys are doing when it comes to dating if you're not on the dating apps. How are you approaching this, or what are you seeing from your point of view?
I think for a lot of men, well, for a lot of people, you're jockeying for position, right? You're kind of fighting for it, right? But a lot of men, they're expected to kind of establish the position of a servant. That's automatically what I'm going to be. That's what I'm going to be from now until forever. You'll find out that a lot of men don't really mind serving their woman. They don't mind spoiling their woman. They really don't. Men, you see a lot of, I'm thinking about my godmother right now. It's ridiculous. how spoiled she is. She's over here, she's over there, she's all around the community. Oh, I just came from this veterans thing, and you know, I'm raising awareness for the men or the veterans that unalive, they commit elimination of themselves. Oh, I'm over here and I'm doing this, or I'm in the community and I'm doing baby showers for some of the young ladies, or getting gifts and stuff like that. She's around doing all of that stuff, accomplishing what she needs to accomplish or what she wants to accomplish. She's doing what she loves to do. You don't hear the man, my godfather in her ear, get back over here. You need to be doing this. You need to be doing that. You don't hear him doing that. But she's got nice rings, nice clothes. I feel like she'd be doing too much because she's walking around with nice car, nice everything. You know what I mean? She gave me something the other day, and I met her, and she walked up on me with a security guard. I'm like, who is this? Well, my security, it's getting crazy out here with the Charlie Kirk and everything. So I got to make sure everything's okay. All right, you should. Oh, this is small. I got a whole team with me. Oh, okay. All right. So you'll find that men don't actually mind spoiling their significant other. It's just that I get too far down the road. A lot of men are stopping before they get too far down the road, or they're not even starting on that journey. They want companionship. They want a woman. But then they're seeing certain things that you're showing them, and you're not dispelling that. You see what I'm saying? Instead of like, if a man sees, and maybe he might be wrong, but if he sees she looks like she might be in the streets a little bit, sounds like she has her head on straight, but I don't know. If you were suspicious, or there was a yellow flag or a red flag, you would want the man to give you a little bit more context. If he says something weird, you'd be like, explain that. You know what I mean? But y'all, modern women don't explain anything. They just say it, and if a man has questions, then he's supposed to just accept it. And so it's like, I'm trying to flirt with you here, but it's kind of weird. I don't know what to do. This whole interaction, this whole situation is weird. I don't really feel comfortable paying for dinner anymore. I don't feel comfortable talking to you anymore. It's just like a weird dynamic. I just don't want to talk to you anymore, because modern women, they don't reciprocate. Like I said, they say things and they don't provide a lot of context for it. They are a lot of times they like to talk bad about you. Or this is the bare minimum, this, that. They go on the T app and they say a lot of things that's weird and it's not true, and they expect you to allow all of that. And when a man decides, no, I'm not doing that, then all of a sudden it's a problem.
Male loneliness epidemic is really just the male consequence epidemic, because this generation of men is starting to see the consequences of how men have treated women. This is why men need to realize how backwards it is that they hate women for their loneliness instead of men, because it's men's fault. How can it be the man's fault when women are withholding relationships from men by raising their standards ridiculously high? The crazy thing is, these men, you guys would have what you want. You would have your subservient wife. You would have your wife who cooks, who cleans, who raises the children, who probably has a job and adds some money to the household and loves you. You probably would. If misogyny under this patriarchy hadn't gotten so bad that women started to notice that like men freaking hate us, you probably would have that. Like, as a collective, it's taken us this long to really collectively decide that we as women have had enough of men treating us poorly. But women forever have been saying this, and it's taken us this long to collectively realize this through our own lived experiences as well. We have these shared experiences as women that we did those things. We were those things that you want women to be, and it didn't serve us. And you hear that and you're like, well, there's the selfishness, and it's like, but no, because women only wanted love and romance in return for the most part. Generally speaking, women want love and romance because that's what we've been raised to think about, to idealize, is the fairy tale romance of marriage. But men ruined it. Men ruined that subservient little wife that you wanted. Men ruined the woman who just wanted to make you a sandwich while you played your video games. And a lot of us have spent years of our lives in these relationships where men gave us less than the bare minimum, and in return we did all of it. We cooked, we cleaned, we gifted, we spent our money, we did 50-50, we did 60-40, we did 70-30. We dated broke men, we dated fat men, we dated bald men, and I never even post about men's attractiveness level. I honestly don't really care about the outer side of things. What really matters is the effort that a man is putting into like his cleanliness and his appearance, not like his actual given appearance. You know what I mean? It's other men who tell you that women only want tall men. And do a small subgroup of women only want to date 6'6" men? Of course. But there's so many men out there who only want to date supermodels, and they're not supermodels themselves. But your real enemy is men. Your real enemy is men. And it's men's terrible treatment of women who have led us to see that we want so much more for ourselves. And if you listened to this and you thought, okay, well, lower your standards back down so men like me can have our chance and not treat you as badly, realize that so many of us have already discovered that the man who truly, truly, truly wants us and loves us is willing to go above and beyond. We figured it out. We found that out. So again, your issue isn't women with high standards. It's men who are able to meet our high standards.
I think you said it there though, right? We were raised to believe this, and your definition of love is not a real definition. It's not. We would make you the sandwich if you would allow us to live in this fantasy and this delusion. That's not the way it goes. You're mad because men brought you back down to earth. This is what we're going to have to do to get where we need to get. You think the people that lived in the old days, in the early days, they had some sort of fantasy about what was happening? Hey, we're having troubles right now. We're going to have to buckle down. Period. Well, I want you to still create a fantasy and this and that. You think in the Depression, they were talking about a fantasy? A woman, when she went to I think she was still in her old age, taking stuff from the restaurants. And her son was like, Mom, you don't have to do that anymore. We're not in the Depression. I'm trying to do anything that I can to survive. That's just the way that I think. That's my mindset. That's what hard times taught me, is to take that anything that's free, anything that's available to me, just to get by. I don't know if I'm ever going to come across it again. And that's real. Some people might be like, oh, well, that ain't necessary. And why would she? That's real. That's how it is. And that's how men try to tell you. That's how men are teaching you. That's how men teach their daughters. Well, my dad raised me to be a strong, independent woman. No, your dad was trying to raise you to see the reality of things. He didn't say to go out there and be rude. He raised you to see, oh, well, this is how it is. People might not help me out. I might be the only one out here doing it. Now, if I find somebody that's genuine and helps me out, yeah, I'll take the help. But most of the time, I'm going to be alone. I'm going to be by myself, because that's how men are. They're by themselves. Even if they're in a relationship, they have to make the decisions to move forward. Even if mama, daddy, wife, it don't matter. Kids, all of them turn against. Daddy got to go in that room and make it happen. He got to go to work and make it happen. That's the end of it. Y'all want to stay in delusion land, in fairy tale hood, fairyhood, or whatever you call it. A man saying, okay, I'll let you play as long as I can, but we got to get to work. We got to get to work. I'm sorry. There's stuff that we have to do, and y'all don't want to do that. Y'all want to spend all your time messing around, playing games, and that's just not the case for real life. Period. End of story. The male loneliness epidemic, the male consequence, is not a male consequence. Even for the men, y'all be talking about this patriarchy and misogyny and stuff like that. A man don't even be a part of that. He be trying to treat you with respect, and you still be putting that stuff on him. Oh, you didn't realize you have this problem, you have that problem. You walk in like a dictator. Fix this, do that, or else. You better do this or else. A man gets tired of that, and he will get tired of that. You haven't learned that you're not pleasant to be around. Just by hearing you right now, you're not pleasant to be around at all. At all. And that's why men see that and they say, whoop, I'm gonna go ahead and check out. Looks like I need to go ahead and exit the scene. This one's not for me. And y'all say, well, if you can only be, no, checking out. This one's not for me. You guys got it.
So I met this guy. Famous last words, right? So I meet this guy and I'm walking down the street with my friend after this workout thing. He driving in his car and he's like close to a red light, so he going slow. So I see him, he see me, we see each other, we looking at each other. And then he say that he loved me out the window loud. And I looked and I was like, who are you talking to? He was like, you. And he say something, I don't remember what he said, but he said he's going to make a U-turn so he can turn around and talk to me. And I said, okay, cool. So whatever, me and my friend waiting. He parks his car. He has a really nice car, not a normal nice car, a really nice car. So I'm like, he a street pharmacist. This is what I'm thinking in my head. So I'm spotting all the red flags immediately. He gets out of the car. He's very nice, respectful to me, like whatever. And he ends up saying, one of us asked, he says, are you single? And I say, are you single? And I'm like, he's like, well, he says he puts his foot in his mouth a lot, but he said, I've never been in a legit relationship before. And I was like, oh, okay. But I was like, I didn't ask you that. In my head, I'm thinking, I didn't ask you that. But this is where men tell on themselves with me. The Holy Spirit makes them tell on themselves. It never fails. God will never, I am never getting deceived again because God will not allow it, okay? So he basically says, like, in so many words, it feels like he was saying, you know how people say what's understood don't need to be explained? Means they in a relationship with somebody who don't want to be with them, or they in a relationship with somebody that already got a relationship. Just some type of stupidness, you know what I'm saying? So he says something like that in so many words. And I say to him, I said, oh, well, I don't play games. So he was like, oh, I'm not playing games, whatever. So he asked to get my number, says he wants to take me out or something, whatever. So I give him my number because it ain't nothing to block nobody, right? So he FaceTimed me the next day. And immediately he gets to him basically, he like, how many kids you got? It's not like that, but like we have a short whatever conversation and he says, how many kids you got? Or do you have any kids? And I said, I don't have any kids. But before that, he had asked for my Instagram. So he had already seen my Instagram, liked my pictures and everything. So you see what I'm about. You see I love Jesus. You see I ain't got no kids. You see I travel a lot. You see I don't cuss. You see I don't drink. You can see all that on my page, okay? So if you deep dive enough. Anywho, I look at his page, I immediately see a child. So I'm like, of course he got a child. Like, I can look at people and tell that they got kids. Like, immediately. I already knew he had kids. So from what I could see, he had 2, right? So he asked me if I had kids. When I first talk to somebody, I like to just talk to them. I don't normally hit them with 11 questions. The only question I will ask is, are you single? How old are you? And that's it. I don't need to know right this minute that you have kids. I don't need to know none of that stuff. I just need to know that you are single, okay? So he asked me that out the gate. You got kids? I said, no, I ain't got no kids. And then I see on his page that he got kids, but I'm like, how many kids do you have? Do you have kids? I was like, I know you got kids. Or I said something funny like that. He say, I didn't really want to talk about that right now. Like, I didn't really want to get into that. And I'm like, what? Like, he was saying it kind of like, oh, like that. And I'm like, sir, you asked me first. Like, so what are you talking about? Like, this was your question. So it's only fair that you answer the question. He said, I'm waiting on an email right now for a paternity test. And I said, oh. Mind you, we are on FaceTime, babe. We're on FaceTime. So I'm like, oh. Now, I've turned over this new leaf because I used to just tell men, like, I used to just be so cutthroat with men. I try to be more softer now because it's like, just because you're not my man don't mean that you are my enemy. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're not going to be my future husband don't mean that I have to, like, treat you like dirt and trash, because you're not trash. You just not for me, babe. Anywho, so he said basically that he waiting on a paternity test to see if it's his kid. And I said, well, I don't understand that, because I feel like when 2 people get together, like, you know that's your kid. Like, if you slept with a woman, you know when you slept with her, you know that's your baby. You know what I'm saying? You know what you did. So what is it? I understand the paternity test, but to act like you don't know. So then I'm being not inquisitive. I forget what I said. And he was like, well, it's like the baby already here. The baby 1 month. And I said, oh, the baby's already here. This is a month-old baby. And in my head, I'm like, you been taking care of this baby? Like, what's going on with this baby? And then what about this woman that's been pregnant with your baby for 9 months? What's going on with her? Like, so then he even said out of his own mouth, like, that's why I don't really approach women, because, like, yeah, because your affairs are not in order, sir. Your affairs are not in order. And I tell y'all, I was so nice to this man. If you knew me 5 years ago, I probably would have, I don't know what I would have said. But overall, we were still on the phone. We had a decent conversation. I basically told him, like, sir, me and you are not, we're not here. He even said he don't believe in contractual marriage. He told me that he used to be in polygamy. I said, sir, we're not on the same page. I said, we could be cool. We could be friendly, but that's not a thing. And he was basically, in so many words, trying to be like, that's why you should get to know people first. And it's like, well, you told me all your business unprovoked. You know what I'm saying? I didn't twist your arm. You just gave up all your business, just threw it out there on a platter. Okay. And he was basically like, in so many words, it felt like he was trying to say that all of his baggage did not equal who he was as a person. That's exactly what it equals. You got 3 different kids now by 3 different baby moms. That is your character. That's who you are as a man. And then just basically in so many words, how he never wanted to be with any of those women. And it's like, you told me before that you have never been in a committed relationship, but you got 3 kids. So you've been laying, it just makes no sense to me. But I was so proud of myself, because it's really hard for me to tell people hard truths. So I told him the truth. We're not going to be together. We're not even going to try to be together. But you cool, you know what I'm saying? If you want to do a virtual Bible study, you want like a hee ha ha friend, you want somebody to like tell you that you tripping, I could be that person, but I will not be your woman. I will not be your spiritual wife or whatever it is that you're looking for, buddy. But he was a cool person. He was funny. But maybe I think everybody funny because I'm funny. I don't know. Like, I be laughing. I be making people laugh, so then they be laughing. He was a little funny. He was cool, though. He was cool. I was just proud of myself that I came out of it and I didn't, like, make anybody feel less than. Because I don't feel that way about him. It's just like, sir, you should have never, like, he even said himself that he shouldn't have approached me because of his situation. And you're darn skippy. Because your affairs are not in order, sir. You waiting on more results from Maury. You don't need to be there. I'm not the one for you, babe. I'm not stepmama. I'm not sister wife, even though I love that show. I'm not none of those things. But yeah, when people ask me if I'm single, and I know y'all gonna blame me for this man approaching me when I say that I'm this single, this is why I'm single. This is not why I'm single, but this is just what's out here for single women a lot of the time. This is not all that's out here, but y'all act like we be getting approached by just wonderful just options all the time, and that's not true. So yeah, the dating pool has pee in it. But it doesn't mean these people are bad people. It's just these people are not my people.
Well, we actually know that this type of man approaches you guys. But I think what we say is, why would you even entertain that type of guy? You know what I mean? Okay, so you turn around and then you get his number, but or you give him your number, but like off the bat, if you know what this guy is about, well, it ain't nothing to block anybody. Well, you didn't block him. You know what I mean? You're telling us that you know what he's about, and you're still talking about him. You're still talking to him. Trying to make it seem like, oh, this guy is so terrible. He's this, he's that. But y'all are having a conversation. Well, I'm glad because I did this. I used to say this. I used to do that. Right. But these are the types of men that you entertain, knowing that you probably shouldn't be entertaining them. That's what it is. And I think you also said something to the effect of the decisions he made in his past. Like, this is exactly who you are as a man. Basically, you need to own it. You're trying to say, well, this is not my past is, it's not who I am. It sounds very similar to what men will tell a woman, and the woman gets upset. How many bodies do you have? Well, that doesn't matter. My past should not matter. No, your past does actually matter. And you go back and forth, shame the man, make the man feel bad, or try to feel guilty for him saying, I I really think that we should talk about what you used to do and how it might affect who you are today. And they get shamed for it. So, you know, one thing I will say is kudos to you for not disrespecting him and, you know, not really making him feel less than. But this is kind of what frustrates men, is you guys spend all of your time, or a lot of your time, entertaining people that you kind of know that not for you. Like, you can see the signs, you see in the red flags, but you still say, okay, here's my number. Let's see if there's something, because I might be missing anything. Maybe you're not missing anything. Maybe you should just kind of let that one go off to the side.